So
and
that song, and that's
well.
one thing I love about songwriting is like it helps me express myself and it helps me be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Because that's something I struggle with a lot. It's like just to like talk about my feelings.
Sure.
But a song is what helps me express myself. Whether I'm listening to it, writing a song, singing it,
right,
anything, it helps me express myself. And I do have another single on its way next week on the 20th called Rabbit Hole. That song is another one of my vulnerable songs. It's so upbeat, and it's a bop is what people say. People still say that. Yeah, it's a bit of a bop.
It's hip, it's with it.
It's with it. It's
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Sipping Success Small Business Spotlight, presented by Blue Suede Brews Coffee. I am your host, Evan Presley, and today I am excited to be sitting down with Scarlet Tantrum, musician and artist, musician. I see, and
you can call me whatever.
Singer, songwriter, artist, musician, to just kind of talk and talk about your journey and small businesses, and also just chat.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on the show. It's incredible all the yeses we've been getting for doing this.
Yeah, it's been awesome, especially for you guys just starting up. Mm-hmm. I mean, supporting small businesses is really important, and so the fact that you are, wanting to, help bring light onto many small businesses while also bringing light to yours is awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and I try to say that as often as I can. It's it's not just, I know I'm doing this for myself as well. But it is also to show a light onto small businesses.
I mean, small businesses are very important to the community.
Yep.
And just supporting each other in general. So.
Yep. And a lot of them, let's face it, I mean, even me, I'm still trying to figure it out. Social media is not easy.
No,
and we've discussed it on many episodes. It's a difficult platform. I mean, I don't even know. I did message you the other day on my personal Facebook because my Instagram got suspended.
Yeah. So that's my biggest fear, getting suspended or hacked or anything like that. I'm so scared to just lose all of my stuff.
Your progress, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It is frustrating.
Yeah.
It happened it was the morning of a farmer's market, and I was not focused at first, hour and a half at the market. I was trying to figure out why this thing that I was just about to post on is gone. And no reason, just said community guidelines.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yep. So, and I can't even log into it.
When I look up Blue Suede Brews, it's blank.
It's blank.
So I think it's gone.
Yeah.
Which is that's really frustrating to have to just start all over.
And it is.
I don't understand why they make it so hard.
Mm-hmm.
But it can be really, really demeaning and really hard as a small business, and who's doing it completely on your own.
Yep. Yep.
I feel like it is different when you have a team, but when you're all on your own, you have to do everything by yourself.
Yep.
And it's 10 times as harder.
While you're doing everything else too.
Yeah.
So it's
while you're trying to just be a normal human, you're also trying to, build up your business.
Yep. And that's what I was finally able to do I thought it was everything I post on my Instagram is shared to my Facebook page.
Yeah, automatically. That's what I do.
So that's what got me was the whole.
And I wonder with the community guidelines, what you would have. I mean, it's coffee. I don't understand.
Right.
That's why I'm is all it takes is just for somebody to report you for no reason. I don't know.
That's what I've been told there's definitely a possibility that it could be competition and they could be people just jealous, that kind of route. I hope it's not that case because it's, I mentioned it literally, I want to say in every podcast so far, every episode, I don't believe in competition. I believe in creating, and if you can create something, there is no competition.
Yeah.
So if you're struggling and you're blaming on competitors, what are you doing like for your brand, are you not creating something that brings people to you? Like you have to create, and just like a musician, what makes you different? You make your own music.
Yeah.
It's not the same. You're not just doing covers all day, every day, and uploading that to YouTube.
Yeah.
You are on that track of
I am also
becoming your own musician.
Yeah. And same with brand. Like it's crazy how important branding is, and like your image for whatever business you're doing, whether it's music or coffee or anything. So that's why I'm grateful that you even, put me on here, because I mean, being a musician, I have my own business. I have my own brand. It is hard work. It is different. It's different hard work than you, but it's still hard work.
Yeah, it's still hard work. Either way, we're grinding to get where we would like to get. I'm excited that you found it earlier than I did. So you have many, many more young years to work towards it. I decided to do it right when we had a baby. I don't know what that was about.
You know what? That's why I'm like, I believe that everything happens for a reason, and everything will happen at the right time. And it seems to be doing well for you right now. Like maybe if you had this idea years ago, maybe it wouldn't have worked out. Right.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, and I've wanted to do podcasts for many years. I just never knew what to do it on. It was that whole, it was back in my high school days that I wanted to do it with my friends, but my friends were never focused. So we never did anything. Playing video games through my younger years, wanting to do something like that maybe, and then finally finding that niche. Everything happens for a reason. I love community. I love the 2-minute conversations I have every day at the farmers market. Why not make that a longer conversation with these small businesses I get to talk to at the farmers market, or people I get to meet, and musicians I get to hear while I'm at those events. That's why I reach out, give everybody my card. If you want to do this, let's do it. Let's do it. As long as we're in this North Carolina bubble, eventually I would love to branch out. So if it did become that kind of popularity, I want it to be free. I want everybody to come on here free of charge, and then have sponsoring.
Yeah.
That way there can be businesses I'll sponsor your episode, and I want to do that different as well as doing sponsorships as organic and not that 60-second ad read crap. Sorry, that's a skip ahead. But if you can talk about I did Catherine Ann's episode, their food, absolutely incredible. If I can just talk about that for 30 seconds and people go, oh wait, what was that, Catherine Ann's? It's already better because it's not getting skipped. People are actually hearing it.
Yeah.
So I think that goes a lot further, and you can make a short on it.
Yeah.
Can't make a short on an ad read.
Yeah. Plus, I also think it's wonderful to get local sponsors versus big corporations sponsors. It's just a lot. It's a lot more personable, and I just feel like people appreciate it a lot more than some big corporation that I'm not going to not going to name, because I don't want to do that. But something like that, a big name sponsoring you versus a small business also sponsoring a small business.
Yep.
Because we got to do it.
Exactly, and it can be tempting.
Yeah.
But it's just having those. I mean, that's the biggest advice I can give to anybody is, if you have a vision, if you have a dream, stick with it and do not settle. I've had many people reach out already when I go live on TikTok asking for, can you provide coffee for my business? I need 50 pounds, probably a month. I'm going to rebrand it as my own. No.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not doing that. Well, it's money, isn't it? It is. And we do need to make more money to get by, but I will not accept it.
Yeah.
It goes against my vision.
Yeah, no. And it's unfortunate because there are a lot of people that would take it, but it's you need to have the integrity of your own business and yourself to be able to know your worth and stand up. No, this is Blue Suede Brews Coffee.
Yep. I spend that time doing that.
Yeah, no, Scarlet Tantrum wrote this song. Exactly. This is her song.
Yep.
Don't slap somebody else's name on it.
Exactly. It's if somebody steals your song, what are you going to do? I'm going to be mad.
Yeah.
I'm going to be real frustrated that somebody just did that.
Or if somebody asks me, hey, can you write this song? But then I'll say that I wrote 100% of it. No. Yep. I don't care if you're paying me $1,000. I don't care.
Yep.
No. I still want that credit and that recognition that I deserve.
And that is the case too. I mean, artists do it. Artists do write music for people. I brought up in Julia's episode, John Bellion. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Yeah.
That guy is incredible.
Yeah.
The stuff that he writes and the music that he sells to all these famous artists and then have these number one hits. So when he came out with that album years ago that had All Time Low on it.
Yeah. And Guillotine and
that
and
was,
stuff.
I don't know if you ever watched that interview with him, but he made that album to show that it's easy to get on the number one board.
Oh, really?
He's like, everybody's saying that they're like, who's John Bellion? Who's John Bellion? I'm the one writing all these songs for these artists that you don't understand. Let me show you.
Yeah.
And it did it himself.
Wow.
So incredible, dude.
Yeah. That's badass right there.
Yeah. Very humble too. If you ever get a chance to look up anything about him, he's a really rad dude.
Because I've known him and like his name, his music for a while. Because one of my cousins was like obsessed with him like years ago. Yeah. So that's how I first discovered him, and then some of his other stuff was like always stuck in my head. I think there was another one, something about If I Was a Robot, something like that.
iRobot, yep.
Yeah, that's.
Yep. I probably know all of his songs. So
I think that was the first one I heard of his.
Mm.
That was
interesting.
Years
that's
ago.
a different one.
That was when I was
same album, by the way.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why I know about that album. But yeah, no, that's a great song.
Yeah.
I can't believe he's and that's another like thing that we could talk about too. Is like there's so many people that when they see so and so on Billboard 100, they think that they automatically wrote it. Which I mean, some of them were in the room writing, but they don't think about, oh no, there were multiple people that wrote this song.
Right.
And my cousin is actually a songwriter, and he currently lives in Nashville.
Oh, that's cool.
His name is Marty James Garton, and he's been in the music industry for a while. And he just kind of had his like first like big breakthrough, I would say, as a songwriter, which he really deserves.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know Bailey Zimmerman. He's a country artist.
I do not.
But he's really blown up recently. But there's this song called Religiously.
Okay.
He wrote that entire song start to finish, which is really rare for like a song to like kind of blow up and only one person wrote it. But he wrote that entire song start to finish. Yeah.
That's neat.
So
well, good for him.
It's really cool to like see him grow, and he's been doing it on his own since he was like 16. So, and he's 40 something now. So
it takes time.
It does.
In some cases, it does take time. You got to keep going with it.
But it also takes that consistency and hard work and never give up. And that's the unfortunate thing is there's so many people that do have these dreams and they go for it for a little bit until one block in the road and then they give up. And I'm no, when I was 17, I was working 2 full-time jobs at the time because I graduated when I was 17.
Okay.
And then I just started working.
Yep.
And maybe for like about a year, I was like, of doing 2 full-time jobs. I was like, that's it. I want to pursue music. I'm quitting both my jobs and I'm going for it. Because at the time I was living with my parents. So even though I quit the 2 full-time jobs, I wasn't like, I still had a safety net. But now I'm moved out. So I've been moved out for almost a year now. So
terrifying, isn't it?
Yes and no, honestly. Like, I was honestly, all my years in high school, I was like, I can't wait until the day I graduate because I am moving out, and it's not even because like I didn't want to be there. It's just like I craved independence, and I wanted to be an adult, which I know all of the adults are like, no, you don't.
Exactly.
But I wanted that independence. I wanted that freedom. I wanted to be able to do whatever I wanted to do.
Yep.
Like, I just didn't, it was my life and I wanted to live it the way I wanted to. And, not that I was going to like do anything bad. It was just like, I just wanted to. Yeah,
you wanted that freedom.
Yeah, I wanted that freedom. And I mean, my parents gave me plenty of freedom. Like I love my parents. They were great. But yeah, I mean, basically all my years in high school, I always strived to just be independent and do all this. And I feel like that's why a lot of people think I'm older than I really am because I have so much drive for a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
I have so much drive. Like I am a very hard worker, and that is something I always like proudly say about myself is that I am a hard worker and I have a lot of drive for the things I'm passionate about. And I'm passionate about music. And for the longest time, I never thought I could be a musician. Basically for 18 years of my life.
Yeah.
Because once I turned 18, I was like, that's it. I'm going to do it because I was just so scared to do it and fail, or people make fun of me or have comments or hate on me. That's what I was scared about. Like, I never even liked singing in front of my mom. I was in choir in high school, but like people never really knew I was a singer. They knew I was in choir and I did musicals and stuff. But
same with me.
I feel like they didn't know that I loved to sing and like it was something I was good at.
Yeah.
And I was just always so scared to get any sort of attention in high school. So I was like, I don't want anybody to know I sing or anything like that. I was just super shy. I never thought I was good enough, you know.
Yeah. I
until,
completely understand
up until
that,
one day I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go for it because I want to live my life and not be in fear of what other people are going to think.
Right.
And having that mindset switch has made me so happy. It's insane. Like living my life for myself instead of other people. That has really changed like really everything in my life. And it's just taken me, like I'm doing it for me. I'm doing it for my happiness. And if you're not happy with it, then that's your problem.
Yep.
Because I'm happy and that's what matters. Yeah.
Exactly.
And I feel like in high school, we're all searching for approval.
Oh,
we're
absolutely,
all doing that, like with friends and all that stuff. And I've just really grown as a person. I've realized that I don't need everybody's approval.
Yep.
I don't need to be a people pleaser.
Exactly.
It is okay if people don't like me. It's okay if people don't like my music. It's okay if people don't think I can sing.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Exactly.
There are people that think Ariana Grande can't sing or Adele or Kelly Clarkson. Like there's people with, everybody has opinions and that's okay. And just having that simple mind switch has just made me very happy.
Oh, good.
Like I'm like the happiest I've ever been.
Good. I feel the exact same way with how it's been for us. Just the switch of what am I doing? Why am I working for people that don't appreciate me? Yeah,
I'm like, I could have been making like lots of money before I quit, you know, my 2 full-time jobs, but I would much rather be struggling for money and love my job and love my life than the opposite.
Yep.
So it's been wonderful.
Good.
And I've been a full-time musician now for a year and a half.
Good.
So
yeah, that's incredible. Awesome. Yeah, having that mind switch that early is huge. So I really hope that takes off for you. I mean, just talking about taking off your music video on BRAT that you just released, 2 weeks ago, maybe 13 days ago?
Yeah, 13 days.
Yeah.
12, 13 days. Yeah.
I remember seeing it like a couple days ago. I had 11 days. So that's why I'm like, it's got to be around here. I want people to understand that we're not just talking about the views as in, oh, it's great, it's views. It's incredible for an artist like yourself at your age. An independent artist that's doing restaurant venues, doing cider houses, and going around the country, or not country, sorry, the state. It'd be really cool to go around the country, right?
I wish.
Yeah, I'm the same way on the small business. Yeah, it'd be really cool to go around the country and interview small businesses. But just to hit that milestone of 50,000 views is incredible. I mean, what was, I looked briefly, was it around 4,000 on one other video that you had on YouTube? On the
BRAT lyric video,
Right. So hitting that amount of like just an audience, wow.
Yeah.
You just upgraded like to, I hope this is going to you don't have to do any part-time work ever. You can now it's going to kick off.
Yeah.
Especially with YouTube. I'm sure YouTube is difficult with making any kind of money. You have to have 1,000 subscribers. And this isn't talked about, right? And it irritates me a little bit is people think doing YouTube is this easy thing. But the smaller audiences or the smaller channels, like yourselves, like Julia's, that doesn't have 200, 500 subscribers. You don't start making money until you hit 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watched hours in a year.
Yeah, that's
from
crazy.
Any ad revenue, none, zero.
Yeah.
So
the hardest part, like even on TikTok and really any sort of social media, is just getting there, getting to that point, because it's so hard to get people to engage with you. Like, I have 50,000 views, but only like maybe 400 likes and maybe like 20 comments.
Yep.
It's like, which I'm still grateful for the views, but I would love for people to engage with me. And people, I feel like nowadays with social media, people are so out of touch, and it's hard. I hate social media, but I have to be on there. I have to be on there.
I agree completely.
And social media can be really demeaning, and that is the one thing that stresses me out the most, is just having to promote myself. Because that's the thing, is like, you can have great music, but nobody's going to know about it if you don't promote it.
Yep.
If you don't. Like, and that's another thing, is there's a lot of people that just think like, no, I have great music, I'm just going to put it out there and naturally.
Yeah.
And sometimes that can happen, but that's a very rare case. Yeah. Like, you have to promote yourself.
You have to be spotted.
You have to try doing ads. You have to see what works for you. You have to network with people. You have to go out and do shows. You have to sometimes you have to do cringy stuff on the internet to get views. Okay. Yep. You got to do what you got to do. Okay?
Exactly.
So, and that's the hardest part, is like trying to find what works for you and your brand, and really just getting to the point where people are starting to see your content, and even taking you seriously too. Because that's another thing. I mean, there are a lot of people that do support independent artists and small artists, but a lot of people don't take them seriously unless they've blown up.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. And you can't blow up until people take you seriously. So
it's
the whole
like, well,
two-way job here. We gotta.
But that's why I'm like, I am just going to make sure I'm proud of what I'm doing, and I'm doing everything I'm doing the best that I can do. You know, sometimes it might not be a lot, and some days it might be a lot. But I'm just going to make sure that I am putting in as much energy and hard work as I can every day.
Exactly, and exactly what you said earlier too. Don't give up. Yeah. I mean, it was really frustrating with the Instagram thing, because I had one time before pushed an ad to help that growth on Instagram. So now it's like, wow, I just put money into something that just got suspended for no reason, and you got to do it again. So just knowing that there's going to be failures, there's going to be things out of your control, you have to keep going. You can't let that. If I let that consume me and stop, I would have been miserable.
Yeah. I mean, if you still have all of those videos, or at least most of them, like,
and they're on all of my other platforms. Yeah, it's even on Facebook. Yeah. The reel that was posted that night, and in the morning when it was suspended, that reel was also posted on.
What
Facebook.
Reel was it?
It was one on episode 2. It was just me and Allie talking.
Oh, that's so weird.
And I thought it was using like an AI to help make those shorts. So I was like, maybe that's what it means by community guidelines. And I read through it, and I don't find anything on that.
And that's another thing, is like, they can say community guidelines, but they need to say what it is that you did.
Right.
You know?
They should, but they don't need to, which is frustrating.
Yeah.
Especially because Meta is Facebook and Meta is Instagram. Why is my Facebook page not banned?
Yeah. That's weird.
Yeah. So that's where it leads me to it had to be a report.
Yeah.
Because it just doesn't make much sense. But going a little further past that, because I could talk about that for a bit and just smolder, but I'm past that.
It's still frustrating though.
Yeah, I mean, luckily, like I said, I just started growing that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm only 5 months into this, maybe close to 6 months, and that Instagram I really wasn't doing much with until the last 2 months.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm sure we can get it back.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's.
Well, and another thing is, like, every business is different. So like, some businesses might do better promoting on social media, but then some might just be better at building a following through like in-person interactions, where it's like you're doing like the farmers market and all of that, and like you can have business cards and like be like, hey, here's my coffee, like follow me on, things like that. I think would be is probably great for you too.
And that's how I've gotten most of my following is that exactly. And finding, I mean, we went to the library the last 2 times in the last couple of weeks. Both times somebody went up to the desk, I overheard when we were around there, and they're like, new to the area, getting a library card. We have so many people moving here. So I go up there and I give them one of my stickers that has the website, and I tell them about the podcast showing off the small businesses around here. And they're like, oh, that's really cool. And then boom, there's a new person. So doing everything, not just Rome wasn't built in a day.
No,
that old saying.
I mean, people say it takes 10 years to become an overnight success. I mean, and that's just what you're it's the hard work and the consistency is what really matters. Where, I mean, you can grow very slowly, but over time you're going to get to 10,000 followers, and then slowly, it's just having that consistency is so important. Just never giving up and just continuing to just go at it, even if you're getting hate, even if people are, not taking you seriously. You just have to do it, because if it's what makes you happy and it's what you're passionate about and you love, then you got to do it.
Yep. And even bad publicity is good.
Exactly.
So you can talk bad all you want, but you are interacting with my post. Thank you.
Yeah, it seems like, honestly, haters interact more than true fans.
Yep.
Which is, I'm like, any publicity, good or bad.
I had a moment with that on one of my TikTok videos. Somebody saying it was like a fake interview, and I was like, okay. And I've been in sales so many years that I've had to respond for one of my sales jobs. I was sales manager, so he let me just respond to all the Google reviews that came in. So the bad ones were my favorite, because you can just kill people with kindness.
Yeah.
And then they go, oh crap. Yeah. So I did that on that video, and then he goes, oh, this is real. Oh my! I was like, yeah. But thank you for interacting, because now we have 5 more comments on this video. Yeah. So
there was one guy, which I'm not going to name, but I posted in just a random Facebook group, and it was like a Nashville music group, because I was going to Nashville to record songs back in April. So I made a post like, hey, this is who I am. I'm coming down. Like, are there any like open mics or any jams or anything?
Yeah, and just to get a lay of the land.
And all he did was look at my picture and was like, this is toxic girl energy. And he went to my page and he started commenting on like 5 or 6 of my videos. I'm like, it's insane to me that you are putting in so much energy just to be hateful.
And like, there's so much more I could do with my time.
Yeah. I'm like, it's insane, because I'm like, you're assuming things about me that aren't true. You're just looking at me. I'm like, you're calling me toxic, but isn't it toxic that you're judging me based on how I look in a picture?
Yep. On the internet.
On the internet? Yeah. Like, you don't even know who I am.
And I've found that too I go live on TikTok all the time just while I roast. It's something to do, and it brings some orders in, because, we do have an online store, bluesuedebrewscoffee.com.
Plug that!
trying to get some more orders here for the winter. But people every once in a while will get, I got that I'm building up this following that people do come back and they start chatting and asking questions about coffee and roasting and brewing methods and all this stuff. And when the bad ones come in, it's so great to see, because like I want to turn it into a follower. I like have that mentality of, why are you this way? Let me see if I can kill you with kindness. And it's worked on a lot of people. They're just like, oh, yeah.
Well, that's the thing, because a lot of times they could just be having a bad day. They could just be. They could be
exactly.
Like, you don't know. But that's why I'm like, don't be hateful on the internet just because you are. And I know it still happens. Something could just make you mad or whatever.
Right. But calling them out is what you need to do. Because sometimes if they understand that what they're doing is wrong, if they can say that as well on the live chat or on the comments and then follow you, that is huge. That is something that, like, you know what, you're right. Why am I being like this? You are having a bad day. You are. Yeah. Something's not going right with them at that time. And they're lashing out in other ways where, therapy is available, but still not something that people do.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like, doing one comment, like, yeah, you are probably having a bad day, but, like, with the guy that I was just talking about, like, he went onto my page, and that was another thing. Extra. I'm like, I was like, you're being extra. You're commenting multiple times on multiple videos saying hateful things, and, like, you're clearly trying to hurt me, but it's not working.
Yep.
Because I know that you're just mad for no reason, so it's not going to do anything. And, I was like, hey, look, like, this is not okay.
Good.
I was like, you're not upsetting
Good
me.
for standing up for
Okay.
yourself.
Yeah, and that's something I will do. I'm like, I'm
Yep.
not going to
You
get
have
walked
to.
on, especially by somebody I don't know.
Right.
I'm like, no.
Yeah. You did have, I remember before we started recording, you said you had coffee questions. So I did just talk about a little bit of that. So I figured that'd be a good segue.
I was just thinking about that.
Yeah.
I would love to know, like, the process of, I mean, I know you make your, I don't know how it works. Like, tell me, give me
like
the
start
rundown.
To finish?
Yeah, start to
Sure.
finish.
So my importer, the first thing you got to do is you got to get green coffee. There's a lot of ways that you can get green coffee. You can order green coffee online.
And that's just like the beans?
The green beans before it's roasted, yeah.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's a seed.
So then, like, when it's brown, that's you've roasted it. So
right.
You roast it yourself.
Yes.
Oh,
so
that's cool.
Actually, I know I'm on video and everything, but I believe I still have some. Let me take these child-proof things off the cabinet because we have a baby. I didn't think this would ever come in handy because I forgot these were in here.
Oh.
So yeah, if you want to take a look, but that is green coffee.
Okay, so this is, I've never seen it like this before.
Go ahead and take a smell.
It smells like, doesn't smell like coffee.
It smells earthy.
Yeah.
Some beans are very fruity, floral. Some beans are they're just all over the place. Like
yeah.
I've got one that's fermented in pink bourbon. So that one, my wife hates the smell of it. But it's like, it reminds me of like almost like a pink lemonade smell.
Oh.
Not to her. But so there's a lot of different processes. So getting green coffee is the first step. A lot of small roasters, and I'm gonna say this, unfortunately, do it the online way. They get coffee shipped to their door, not knowing where they're getting it shipped from. So finding an importer is the hardest part, but you really just have to Google it.
Yeah.
And then see if they allow visits and go to them. Try to find it locally.
Oh, gotcha, yeah.
So I was fortunate to have a friend here at Family Grounds, David, the owner. Here, it's a coffee shop here in town.
Oh.
He helped me get started with the green coffee and then introduced me to where I get my green coffee now, De La Finca, up in Apex.
Oh.
Small Honduras family that it's a smaller warehouse, so they don't hold as much as like these massive warehouses that have pallets of just rows and rows of green coffee that's sitting for years type thing. So my vision was all green coffee that I get has to be harvested within a year. If it's over a year, I'm not getting it. It takes away from the quality. There's a whole mold issue that's going around in the United States saying, the United States buys moldy coffee. It's true. If it's sitting in a shipping container for 3 years and the U.S. buys it from a place that was sending it to Japan and Japan refused it because of it, there's no regulations here in the United States. So we go, hey, yeah, and then it goes commercial coffee. Mm. So
like you're saying that it could be like on the store shelves right now? Is that what you mean? Or?
It's even worse than that. It could be in a warehouse for 3 years green, then finally roasted. Oh. So there's no more flavor out of it. It's old.
Oh, gotcha.
And then from there, then it can get roasted, put on shelves in a warehouse, then put on shelves in a truck, then put on shelves in the back room of a store, then get put on the shelves in the store. And that's why you always see coffee on sales, because it's old coffee. It's very old. It always has that bitter taste. I don't know what you've thought so far of what you're drinking right now.
No, I think it's really good.
Good.
Yeah.
But that one's a Brazil single origin named Fool's Gold. I get like really nutty, buttery notes to this one.
Yeah. It goes great with the oat milk.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
I found that with a lot of them, they do really well with the oat milk. So from the green coffee, I go to my importer. I have my like little Volkswagen GTI out there. Yep. I only can pick up like 3 bags because they're like these massive 60, 70 kilo.
Oh, is this a bag? Oh, that's so cool that you're displaying it. That's so cool.
So yeah, that's the pink bourbon fermented one, cold washed. The one behind you, that's the only one that I know for sure is really certified organic. That's one is from Indonesia, grade 1. Really, really good coffee. That one was harvested 4.5 months ago, the one behind you.
Oh, wow.
And I got it when it was only 3 months. I've had it for a month and a half. I'm almost out of it.
Wow.
So
you try and keep it like very fresh.
Right, because you get so much more flavor out of it.
And that's obviously what you want.
Right. And then once I get it back here, my roaster is 600 grams, which if you're not familiar with grams, you or the audience, it's like 1.3 pounds per batch that I roast. So, and each roast is 10 to 13 minutes depending on my light to dark roast.
Oh, okay, so it doesn't take that long to roast it. Okay.
But it does take a lot long to roast a lot of it because you lose about a sixth of the weight in the roasting period because there's water moisture. There's water vapors that explode out of the bean once you hit it about 385 degrees. It'll start popping like popcorn. That's the water vapor blowing up, and that's now considered a light roast.
Yeah.
And then if you take it...
Okay, so I guess with roasting, like the dark roast, medium, light roast, so that depends on how long you're roasting it. But how do you get like...
Correct.
How do you get like the flavors and stuff like that?
So that one's a little bit more complicated. There's a lot of science in coffee roasting, and I don't want to say that I'm a science roaster by any means. I'm like maybe a sixth science, and then five, the other rest of it passion. So when I get a new bean, I take that bean and I roast it. There's 3 different curves. There's a lot to coffee. There's the quick curve where you roast it fast. There's the like medium, and then the very long curve. So it could be 8 minutes, 10 minutes, 12 minutes.
Okay.
It's just giving random example. From there, I'll do cupping the next week and kind of see how the flavors developed. If it's like burnt on the far end, even being like a light roast, I'll go, okay, that's not going to be good doing the long end.
Yeah.
But some beans, like the Indonesian one, it's a very dense bean that it did really well on the longer period. So there's
kind of just depends on what
the bean and
what you have and what you're working with. Yeah.
Yep. And different origins too. The soil is different, the elevation is different. So that's why I'm guessing that's much a denser bean. And then once I get that, then I go, all right, now I do like 10 roasts, and I do it 5 degree increments. So it'll be like, I'll drop it at 400, 405, 410, 415, 420, 425, 430, and 435. And then you have to wait a week for it to degas. And then you grind it up, do a cupping of each one, and that's where we find
So it's
where we like it.
It's definitely a process. Right. Like just trying to get I guess, like when you make a batch, how many, how much coffee is in like one batch after like a whole process of making the coffee?
Like in the roaster or like one of these bags?
Well, in like once you're done like roasting and like once it's like ready to be sold, like how long does that take for it to be like completely done?
I mean, it's technically done right away.
Oh, okay.
As soon as I start like, okay,
I guess after
that's
roasting it? Okay.
Right. If I go, that's where I want it to be, then I'll go roast that 415 degree temperature, 12-minute time drop, that curve, everything. And then I'll just do that time and time again. If I'm a degree or two higher when I drop it, if I'm not paying attention, that goes into my scrap bin because 1 or 2 degrees will change it.
Oh, wow.
So
that's crazy.
Sometimes that one took me the most amount.
Very particular.
Yeah. The Indonesian one took me the longest time because I think it was 3 weeks before I finally got, like we narrowed it down to this area of degrees. And then I was like, let me do a couple more. And then I did like 1, 2, 3 degree increments. And then I found one that was perfect. And I was like, all right, that's how I'm doing it.
Yeah, I'm sure you're having to go through a lot of beans just to try and figure out like
Luckily, not as much.
Okay, well that's
Being
good.
that small of a roaster.
Oh yeah.
Some bigger roasters.
So you can. It's probably good like when you're just testing and trying things out to do like a very small batch, so you're not having to waste a lot. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, but when you're trying to produce enough to make for markets and everything, I'm out there 5 days a week, 4 days a week, 5 hours just to roast 4 or 5 roasts an hour, and doing that as much as I can to make the amount that we sell.
Yeah. So. Well, I mean, this is good. It's already gone.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Well, good. I'm sure we have a little bit left if you want to fill back up.
Oh yeah, I would.
Yeah. Well, let me make sure, and then we'll take a little break, make sure the video is recording still, and we'll go from there.
Imagine if you didn't hit record.
It happens.
Oh, because that's one thing with merch. I've been working really long and hard on trying to get merch, but it's so expensive, and
it is.
It's like trying to find the right design that I'm proud of and I really like, and I've been trying to make my own shirts because I just think that would be really fun to be like, these are handmade by me.
Yeah.
Like all of them are different because they're handmade by me. So, I mean, because I just love the creative side
aspects
to it.
Of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's been a long ride trying to figure all that out, which after this today, I plan on going to like Michael's or something and picking up a bunch of shirts to make a bunch of shirts for this festival I'm doing over near Asheville on Sunday. So,
okay.
Because I've
Yeah.
It's called September to Dismember. It's like a Halloween.
Cool.
Yeah, it's like a Halloween festival. So there's gonna be like scares and like cool vendors, and there's also gonna be a bunch of different live music, artists and stuff. So I'm excited. I'll be playing on Sunday. But yeah, I'll be hopefully selling some merch on Sunday. But yeah, it's definitely hard trying to get together merch.
Yep, it's another job.
Cool, you know.
Yeah, I'm fortunate enough to like we just don't have the time with a baby, but my wife is, you guys were talking earlier, an artist. So she's made 3 stickers for me so far. They're like Blue Suede Brews Coffee themed. They're like cool little like almost D&DS like that little like it's not an octopus, it's a septopus or something. I can't remember how many legs it has. But it's like that holding like a mug with like a nightcap on it. Oh,
that's cool.
Like pouring like a Blue Suede Brews Coffee French press.
That's cool.
There's another one that's I can't remember. It's been too long now. But like just a little sticker pack, cool. And then she also wants to make shirts that are like these really crazy cool colors. And like, yeah, that'd be really cool to have just different merch.
Yeah.
And that's why I found it's like for me, merch is not making money. It's just getting my name, my brand out there.
Yeah.
So like right now, the one T-shirt I have that doesn't even say Sanford NC. I forgot to do that, and I felt dumb doing that. I sell them for $10, which is like $1 over cost, just because I needed them to get out there. I don't care about it giving me $10 in the backside. So now I'm
I mean, as long as you can get the money back that you spent, which I mean, it's only $1 over, you're clearly getting your money back.
Yep.
So that's because I mean, right now, like when you're just growing your business, that is so smart, because it's really just, I mean, sometimes I'll give like I've had some trial run for some merch, and I've had some mess ups and stuff, and so I still have a couple shirts that I've just been giving away for free. Like, I had a show maybe 2 months ago, and there was this little girl there with her mom, and she loved me. She loved my performance. And ever since she saw me, she's been like wanting to come to my shows. Like, and
that's awesome.
And she's been to like maybe her and her mom have been to maybe 3 or 4 after that.
Yeah.
So I gave her one of my shirts for free, and she wears it every time now.
That's awesome.
Every time she comes, and I'm like, that's what I want. I want to inspire the youth, and really anybody. Like anybody that is a fan of me and is clearly supporting me, I'm like, you deserve to have free merch. Like, like I was giving away free stickers when people pre-saved my last single, and things like that. Like, I want my supporters to know that I love them and I'm grateful for them.
Yeah.
And because that's what they want too. They want to know that like they are, validated and appreciated for their support. Right.
Exactly.
And that's how we're able to, make it work. Is
you have to collaborate.
Yeah.
You have to support each other. It's the whole no competition. Stop creating competition for yourself. Just create collaboration, create content. I mean,
you have to just get out there and market yourself. That's really all there is to it.
And if you're a small business that is a restaurant, for example, quit posting food pics. Quit posting restaurant pics. No one gets up in the morning and wonders what Starbucks coffee is today. Or like, that's the best example. What your Taco Bell taco is today. Like, no one cares. But what does Red Bull do? They create content. They create very eye-engaging things and plaster Red Bull all over the place.
Yeah, it's true.
Because that's what people want to see. No one's going to go, oh, yeah, look at the new spaghetti dishes out. It's boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that, like, and it's crazy because like social media has just changed so much too, where it's like you have to try and you have to catch their eye in some way.
Right. 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Takes 3 seconds. And if you don't get past that 3 seconds, your video is not pushed. Your post is not pushed.
And that's the hardest part, is getting people to stay.
Yep.
It's so stressful.
I'm going to kind of change subject here.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit more about you.
Yeah.
So, we discussed a little bit here at the beginning of the podcast, but, what music do you have out and released for yourself, and, any upcoming stuff that you would like to mention? You'll probably be episode 5.
Okay.
So you'll be not this Saturday, but 2 weeks from now, Saturday.
Okay. Yeah. So I currently have 3 singles out right now. And I just recently had my music video for my debut single release about almost 2 weeks ago. It's doing really well. We talked about earlier. It's at 50K views, which is just insane. Very grateful for that. But I do also have 2 other singles out on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, all that stuff. My debut single was BRAT, and then Paradise came out shortly after that. And then my latest release is Not Worth My Time, which has also been doing really well. A lot of people have been resonating with that one a lot. I wrote that one when I was in high school, and I had a really bad group of friends that just they weren't there for me, and they didn't have my back, and I had to learn that the hard way. And so I wrote a song about it in order to cope. So that song, and that's one thing I love about songwriting, is like, it helps me express myself, and it helps me be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Because that's something I struggle with a lot. It's like, just to like talk about my feelings.
Sure.
But a song is what helps me express myself, whether I'm listening to it, writing a song, singing it, anything. It helps me express myself. And I do have another single on its way next week on the 20th called Rabbit Hole. That song is another one of my vulnerable songs. It's so upbeat, and it's a bop is what people say. People still say that. But yeah, it's a bit of a bop.
It's hip. It's with it.
It's with it. It's nifty. But I'm really proud of this upcoming one because it has really evolved over time. I also wrote this back in high school. Say that like it's forever ago, but I mean 3 years ago. And I wrote it about how much I hated myself. And like, I hated the way I looked, and like, I just didn't.
You don't feel. I mean, that's,
I just
you don't feel comfortable in your own body at those at that age most of the time.
I had really low self-esteem at that time, and that is what this next upcoming single is about. And so, I mean, the more songs I'm releasing, the more I'm exposing myself. But obviously, I do love myself now. I am much happier, and I am loving life now. But
it's because you're letting it out. Yeah. You're being able to express that.
But yeah, I wrote Rabbit Hole about 3 years ago, and it has evolved very slowly and into what it is now and what you'll hear on the 20th. But it's really, really cool. And then I'm also planning on releasing a little surprise song. It's also one of my saddest songs too. So there will be I mean, Rabbit Hole, like I said, is pretty upbeat and is a bop, but the lyrics are really sad.
Yep.
But the one that I'm planning on doing like a surprise release is my saddest song I've ever written. And I'm in the studio for that right now, actually.
Are you the one here in Sanford?
Yeah, Spice House Recordings.
Spice House, yeah. Julia mentioned them to me, and she's like, "You should interview them." I'm like, "That's a really good idea. That'd be really sick."
Oh yeah. They are incredible, and I work with them as well as out of Nashville too. So,
gotcha.
Yeah,
we'll mention them too next time you see them.
Oh yeah.
Be like, hey, check this guy out. You guys should do a podcast.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know about him, but I'm also not an artist, so obviously I'm not looking for a studio.
Yeah.
So.
But they're incredible, and I'm in the studio with them right now, and I'll record vocals next week, and that's for my saddest song I've ever written, and it makes me cry every time I hear it, every time I sing it, that's a really sad song. And the reason I'm putting it out is, one, because it makes me cry, but it also, every time I've played it, it's made people cry, and like, they're like, this needs to be out so I can listen to it and heal from like, losing somebody.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. Yeah.
Yeah.
And So lots of songs on the way this for the rest of the year, and I've also been writing a lot. I've been writing a lot of songs. I just connected with um, Jess Solberg out of Nashville, and him and I have been writing songs, and we're about to write our third song together. But the other two that we've written have been really good.
Awesome.
I think I'm also like slowly starting to find more of my sound, and I think I'm really because I mean you gotta write more songs and you gotta produce songs to really start finding like what is my sound that I'm trying to go for. And so I'm getting more and more excited because I do think I am starting to find what I'm looking for, what I want as my sound, and I'm super excited for the rest of this year, but also 2025. I think 2025 are gonna be like my best songs coming out. So I'm really excited for now. Yeah. And that's also my opinion, but
yeah, that's really interesting that I never even thought about it in that way of artists have to release singles first to kind of get a feel of how they're going to want to do it and how they're going to want to write, and then you create that album. Then you create something that's fluid.
Because I've definitely learned I want to lean more rock.
Heck yeah, yep.
Like I love rock.
Yep.
I love.
I mean,
rock.
I heard you perform at James Creek, just covers of like everything, but like Linkin Park and
Green Day, Nirvana. Yeah. I did a lot of the 90s, 2000s alternative stuff. Because that's my favorite. Yeah. That's what I grew up. That's what my parents listened to. So that's obviously what I grew up listening on.
I'm feeling old. Yeah.
And, you know, I love alternative rock, and, you know, I also do love pop music. So I still want to kind of have like some pop. Sure. I want to have like pop melodies, but definitely like heavy guitars and like, you know, I want to have.
I mean, I'm all for it. If you're going that way, like I'm Sleeping with Sirens, Pierce the Veil, Day to Remember, like all that kind of.
You're like harder rock,
yeah. That like that's a little bit of screamo too, like that.
Yeah, and I do love that too. Like In This Moment, Breaking Benjamin, 3 Days Grace.
Benjamin, I forgot about Breaking Benjamin.
I love all those bands.
Yeah.
So anything within the rock genre, I love. So I've definitely have realized that I do want to lean like more towards rock.
Yeah. Good. You find your niche.
Yeah.
And I think honestly, your voice, like from what I've heard so far, your voice that tracks to where you should be.
Yeah.
That you've got definitely that more rock-esque voice.
I feel like, I mean, from just playing out and playing shows, I do feel like my voice is very versatile. Which I think is a wonderful thing. Like a lot of people say I have a very bluesy tone and I'm very soulful.
Yeah.
But I also can rock out too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I also don't want to be, I don't like feeling restricted. That's like one thing I don't like. I don't want to feel like I am tied to a genre.
Sure.
But I also know starting out, I kind of need to be, because I need to find, like, it's my brand. Like I need to develop. I need to develop my brand first, and then once I start gaining a fan base, then I can start doing whatever I want, really. But yeah, I mean, I would love to do like a country song, like collaboration or something. I would love to have like a rap artist play on like a rock song. That I think that'd be so cool, like rock rap.
Yep.
Like I want to be able to do really anything.
That's awesome, and you got to be open to that too, because that again will help you grow. And I feel like it, I mean, and I don't know because I'm not in the music industry at all. But have you tried doing those types of things already, trying to collaborate with people? Because I can imagine a lot of people are closed off to doing collaboration.
Yeah. Even with just writing, it's been, especially locally, it's been hard to find people to write with or record with or collaborate with that are local, because a lot of them are closed off when it comes to their own music. Like they'll record a cover with me and stuff. Like that's great. That's awesome. But I feel like when it comes to, you know, and maybe it's just
something.
Maybe it's just the people I've reached out to so far, but
keep
it just seems like a lot of people are like, no, I just want to do it on my own. And I'm like, I know, and this is like just me, like I know my music is not perfect. I know it can be better. I want it to be better.
Right.
And I know that collaboration will make it better, because then you have multiple great minds, great songwriters, you know, on the same song, and it's wonderful. I mean, even just collaborating with a couple people out of Nashville so far have been incredible.
I can imagine.
And it's helped me so much just getting more, songwriting under my belt. I love to songwrite, and
you can always
awesome.
learn from somebody. Even if you don't think you can learn something from somebody, you can learn something from somebody.
Yeah.
And I've tried to preach that to a couple people that, they're in that crap situation that it's not going well for them, and they're saying like their boss is this awful person. And then, I mean, my best example for it was when I was working at a dealership back in Illinois. I had this just jerk of a, like, honestly, and I hate to say it, but it's true, the worst person I've ever met in my life. And that was my boss. Oh, wow. Just all around not good guy. And even more so to women. It was frustrating to see what he could get away with at a dealership as the main boss. Oh, wow. To any woman that walked through the door, let alone how he treated his employees and myself. But what I learned from him was confidence, because finally I snapped. When he was in my office screaming, cussing at me, I was like, you know what? I don't have to put up with this. I was probably your age, 20, 21. I was like, nope, stood up, and I gave it to him back. And he,
wow.
I don't think anybody's ever talked back to him in his life, because he was just,
wow.
And then
and
left.
I believe that everybody needs to get put in their place in some way, shape, or form, like at some point in their life, like whether they're like, maybe they're just cranky and they're like, hey, like, come on, like right now is not, like, there are worse things in life. Like, even if it's just something small like that or something big, like what you just said, like, it's gonna happen. Sometimes you need to realize, like,
we're all human.
Yeah, we're all human.
Yep. Yeah, except for that didn't put him in his place. It made things worse, but I ended up walking. That was the one job I've ever walked out of. Actually, walked out of.
Wow.
But I needed it, and that's where, like I said, I gained my confidence. Then after that moment, sales became so easy for me, because I was like, I have the confidence now. I know what it's like to be treated awfully. So if it's somebody thinking that they're treating me bad, it's like, man, I've dealt with worse. Like, what else you got? Like, I'll keep pushing.
Yeah, and that's what I'm like, and I feel like through just growing so much, from high school and like my high school experiences, I've grown so much just from
it's only been a few
crappy
years.
People. Yeah, like crappy people doing me wrong, and constantly wanting closure or validation or anything like that, realizing I'm never going to get it.
Yeah.
You have to go through those bad experiences to learn.
Yep.
You can't just hide from them. You can't run away from them. You have to face your problems. And even if you're not trying to face them, it's still going to happen.
Yep.
People are going to hurt you. People are going to take advantage of you. You're just going to have to learn from it.
Yep.
Like from past friendships, relationships, any bad experience, like even like some music experiences. I'm like, I've gotten some opportunities that I've taken, and yes, I did waste my money. But I've had to learn from it to realize I wasted my money. Like, this is what you have to do.
Exactly. I mean, going back to your example of high school, that friend group that just was not the right group. Like, you have to learn to surround yourself with people that support your ideas.
Yeah.
If you keep getting, no, you shouldn't. No. Sorry, I'm so done with it at my age now that after one time or two times of hanging out with somebody new that keeps telling that kind of thing, I'm like, all right, and then they won't ever hear from me again.
Yeah, I do also feel like, and being in high school is just when you're wanting that, to just feel accepted, but also you're having to see them every day.
Yeah.
Like once you're...
And that changes, by the way. Once you're out of high school, you don't have to see them.
Exactly, and that's why it's so much better, because like I'm in full control once I'm out of high school, because I don't have to see you if I don't want to.
Yeah.
But when I'm in high school, it's like, I'm going to have to see them every day, whether it's I have class with them, I sit next to them, whether we just see them in passing, like I'm going to see them.
Yep.
And it does make it harder to, I guess, end relationships like that, because you have to do that. But
if it's toxic, I mean, you have to, one, try, and two, I really wish I would have known this when I was back in high school, just for myself, but teachers, they are there to help.
Yeah.
So if you do have a problem, they're not going to be like, I don't want to hear it. They will try to do the best in making it right and splitting you up from somebody. Or high school, that's the hardest part, is you still have to go to school with them.
Yeah.
But there's ways that you can help that scenario as well while you're in school. And I wish I would have known that. I mean, you were talking about how much of a hard worker you are and having 2 full-time jobs at 17. I turned 16. I was doing 45 hours at Pizza Hut.
Wow.
I was up till 2-3 a.m. before I'd get home, and then I had to go to school. Yeah. And at that time, a lot of the teachers did not understand that, but I did have that one that was like, "What's going on?" And that's all. You have to find that teacher that asks, "What's going on?" They actually care. Yeah. And when they find out that, hey, I'm doing 45 hours, oh, why? Well, I need to provide for myself. Oh. And then they go easier on you.
Yeah.
You can't do 2 full-time
people don't understand what you're going through until you tell them, and you are.
They don't mind read. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they don't. Like, they just see that, like, you're not doing your schoolwork, or like you're failing, or you failed a test. Like, they're like, why you're not trying? It's like, no, I am.
I'm sleeping in my class.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'm sure. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. I'm sure.
No, I'm not going to say that.
Cut this out.
Yeah.
Well, we'll wrap it up. I want to give you a minute again. I'm sure we've talked about it, but this is your spotlight. That's the whole premise of this video, is spotlighting small businesses, musicians, anybody here locally, and hopefully around the country when we get there. But take 5 minutes, take 10 minutes. This camera. No, it's not Hot Ones. This camera only. It's an iPhone. Hi. Low budget. Please sponsor us. Say what's going on if we haven't already covered it, or where people can find you, where they can find your music, what platforms you're on, all that kind of good stuff. Yeah,
I mean, you can find me under Scarlet Tantrum on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I have my own website, scarlettantrum.com. I am working on merch, so if you want to, end up buying merch from me in the future, that'll be available very soon. You can come see me at a show. All my shows are posted on my website. And definitely go stream my music. Check out the music video that came out on YouTube.
Give it a like.
And yes, give it a like, comment. Yes. All my music is out on all streaming platforms. And like I said, I've got 2 more singles coming out very, very soon. So probably by the time you see this episode, at least one of them might be out. If not, maybe 2. So.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me on here.
Absolutely.
This is really awesome. This was a lot of fun.
You're always welcome back.
Got to try your coffee, so it was delicious.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I work hard for it. So
drink his coffee.
You don't have to, but in bluesuedebrewscoffee.com, shipping's free over $50.
I demand it.
Yeah. We have 2-pound bags too.
Ooh.
So if you find something you like, it is cheaper as well for the 2-pound bags. Takes me a little bit longer, but yeah, it'll be there in like 5 days if you order it.
Nice.
I am grinding to no pun intended, to get coffee out there. So, all right. Well, thank you, Scarlett, for being on our podcast.
Thank you.
Showing up, drinking coffee, and saying so many nice things. We will see you guys next time. Make sure you do like, subscribe. Both me and her. I mean, when I watched your music video, that was the first. I'm like, I gotta do what I always preach. So I liked. I don't know if I commented though. So I'll have to go back there.
You did not.
Comment. Yeah. At least I liked. I think I subscribed too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I did subscribe. So yeah, it's just simple things. Just do it.
Those small things that do get forgotten about, they do help a lot.
Yeah. So it doesn't take much time.
Yeah.
Just hit like.